by Benning. Darnell Nurse left it in the corner, gets up center. Perry scores! Corey Perry!
Ilya able to shake away from Solani. It's given away to Solani. Around in front. Score! Teemu Solani with the steal.
And the fans want one. Score! On the floor! On the board! Paul Kournianos!
Back. It's an 11-game losing streak.
Lucky
That's
11.
where we're at tonight. Patrick and Jason taking over the podcast to bring you to probably the worst state of hockey we've seen in, a decade. It's been bad. This has been really bad hockey for Anaheim.
It's kind of the streak you never want to keep talking about, but somehow you have to keep talking about it unless you're really pissed, and then I guess you can yell at reporters to not talk about it. But this one's its own thing. We're going streaking.
I mean, to find a way to lose for 11 straight games, especially the last two when you have a lead.
Yeah,
You have a 3-0 lead against one of the best teams in the league, period. And then again tonight against one of the best teams. On the road, you have a 2-0 lead. You find a way to lose again. It's very disconcerting for this group. I mean, the captain's upset about it. The coach is obviously pissed. He gets mad at one of the reporters here. Doesn't need to be named, but he calls the guy a jerk. Ends the interview because he's upset about his job security being questioned. Yeah. It only took you 10 straight games of losing before someone popped the question. Why don't you settle down there, Randy? Just settle down a little bit.
Say, hey, I don't know if you're aware. You've been losing. How's your job security? As in, this doesn't usually happen for most coaches that are still in their position. So I'm was going to lay down. You just, ferment about it. Nah, call me an a-hole.
Yeah, right.
You're losing.
Pretty much. I mean, I get it. No one really wants to be asked that question. But when you're a professional and you're in sports and you have people that ask you questions all the time, that's eventually going to come around. And it's been asked. Sure. Other coaches have been asked that question. It's like asking a player, "Hey, you're on a 10-game slump from scoring. How do you feel about your play?" It's similar. It's very similar.
Yeah, it's weird, especially since Randy was from Toronto and his whole record there wasn't all that awesome in the first place. Oh, so it's all of a sudden it's like, hey, we lost 10 in a row. Why don't you pump the brakes with a stupid ass am I being fired questions? You sound like an idiot.
And
makes no sense. Toronto, you lose 2 games and everyone's asking you so you picked a new address, right? U-Haul's number on speed dial. Sorry, you lost 10 games, now 11 with the Ducks. But you got to throw a little shade when they finally ask, you good? You good, Randy?
How's the season, Randy? How's it going there, bud?
Randy?
Yeah, he needs to find a way to be able to take those questions full on, because he knows he has all the job security in the world, which we're going to get to in a few, because there was a statement that came out from Anaheim upper management, Bob Murray, and he answered some questions that we've all been kind of wondering about. So we'll definitely get to that. Plus, we have lots of fan questions. We have a watch party to talk about. There is positives to take away from tonight, because we had a blast at Lamppost Pizza like we always do. But
always so much fun there.
Got to get to this just real quick for everybody. If you're not watching us on YouTube and you're listening to this the day after the show, go to YouTube, do us a favor, log into your account, go ahead and find us at Forever Reminding, hit subscribe. It helps us out. The more subscribers we get, the better off we are, the more we're seen on next videos or suggested videos, which all helps drive traffic to us and helps us get out there in the world.
But as the minus, they have to see our faces.
I mean, they don't have to. I guess they can just listen to it in the background on YouTube. People can.
All you have to do is subscribe and then just listen. You don't actually have to do it.
I mean, yeah. If you don't look at Jason and his green curtains, you have to.
These are nice.
But it helps us out. So yeah, go to YouTube and do that. If you haven't hit us up anywhere on social media, we're everywhere. So find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. But let's get to the pregame notes. Gibson versus Hellebuck. Battle of America in net, which I like to see, especially when we're in Canada. I love to see that. America representing hard up in the Great White North with apparently really bad internet in Winnipeg. Pontus Aberg scratched, and again, not playing. A one-dimensional player that knows how to score goals. I believe he's damn near the top of the leaderboard, if not leading in goals for the Ducks. So he's still...
No. That changed. Was
to who?
First it was Silverberg. Well, first it was Kasha, and then I think Silverberg scored in the last game, and then he overtook it. So he's got it. So Aberg, having missed a couple games, has not had the opportunity to be the leader.
Which is puzzling. This team can't score goals, and then when they do, they still find ways to lose games. So it's very strange that they would, subtract a guy from the lineup or the composition of this team. He is sitting. Let's see. He has 11 goals. He's second. He's tied with Andre Kasha, and he's one behind Jakob Silverberg. So, whatever.
So I called it right.
Randy Carlyle and all his high mightiness finds a reason to subtract a player and decide to put the puck in the back of the net here for the past few games. The Ducks are on a losing streak. So he's out of the lineup. It was Ricard, Raquel, Ryan Getzlaf, Jakob Silverberg, Cogliano, Rowney, and Sprong, Ritchie, Henrique, and Kasha, Gibbons, Kessler, and Sherwood. The line blender. This is what everyone didn't like from Bruce Boudreau. He doesn't ever keep things together. He mixes things up too much. And now look at Randy. Here's Randy, 10-game losing streak. How long does it take Randy to do this? It took Randy 9 games, 10 games to figure this out. He can start splitting these guys up and trying to move the lineup about. But he does. And it does help out in the first period because Brian Gibbons would put the Ducks on the board early in the first. Everyone in Lamppost, myself included, thought it was Ryan Kessler who scored. Because Gibbons, who's been scoreless all year. Ryan Kessler,
he's not allowed to score in Lamppost.
40 games. Gibbons throws the puck off the far wall, in my opinion, tries to hit Ryan Kessler, hits off Ben Sherrod's skate, goes in the back of the net past Connor Hellebuck, and all of a sudden the Ducks have a 1-0 lead. Nothing Connor could do there, Jay.
No, not at all. And but yeah, the same thing was like watching like Kessler. It almost looked like Kessler like jumped and then like moved to the side like he got hit and then like squeezed everything together. So I don't know if that's what confused everybody. But there's nothing there when it's going a full foot wide in front of a goalie. Those are the ones you kind of just like you let go and you maybe try and move to the side. Maybe it might hit something, but you never think it's going to go down, off and in, and then just goes past you. It sucks because that one's going so wide and you're told not to waste that much energy on things that are going that far wide, and it blows. It's not fun.
Just not much he could do there. That's what I felt like watching the replay, and like the fact that everyone thought that it was going to be Ryan Kessler getting a stick on it, and the camera even panned to him. Everyone got all stoked for him. Then it turns out, no, it wasn't you.
I'm giving him big hugs, pat him on the back. You did it, kid. You did it.
Just haven't ever come down and blessed him this year. But Jason Billings, who we met at Lamppost Pizza, and I had a question on YouTube. He said, would a coaching change at this point even matter? Does it change anything?
It changes the coach.
But is it? I mean, but you got to look at it from a Ducks standpoint here. And it's a solid question because everyone's all over Bob. Everyone's all over Randy right now. And it's like at this point, you're 11 games in on a losing streak. You're past the halfway point in the season. You have the trade deadline coming up here very shortly in February. Is this a move? If you get rid of the coach, what is that going to do to this team? I feel like it's going to have to play into the point of if you remove Randy Carlyle and you put a new coach behind the bench, that's fine. But you still have to make changes to the way this roster is built because it's not successful no matter who's behind the bench. If you're going to change systems, you still have to get rid of the old guys out of this lineup because they're not producing. I can't ever see Andrew Cogliano and Ryan Kessler put up tons of points. I don't really believe when Corey Perry comes back, he's going to be lighting the league up on fire. And, the fourth line is the fourth line. I don't really see this team catching anyone at this point in the season and doing some damage. I feel like if you're going to rebuild, you got to go for it all.
I guess I'd slightly disagree with you. I would say that there's no point now to have Randy Carlyle in there. Either he doesn't have the voice of the room, he doesn't have a strategy for his team to succeed, he doesn't have a strategy for what the GM or management wants. At this point, there's nothing he's doing well. He's not even answering news people's questions, reporters' questions. So, I mean, at this point, it's a complete wash. So drop him, bring somebody else in. The only worst that it could be is another 11 losing game streak going. I mean, I guess.
You might as well just go for 17 because that's the record, Capitals record. So leave Randy in.
I wouldn't. I'd move Randy off. I'd bring somebody else in. If there's somebody else that's used to what the new NHL is or what younger players are, I would say Dallas Eakins is a little bit of a change. He's a change in voice. He's someone who knows a lot of the younger players in this lineup, and maybe he's not so hung up on Kessler and Cogliano having to play second line minutes against top players that they can no longer defend against in any reasonable thing. And then if you can get that same coach to go, hey, you know what? Let's maybe change up that defense back to what worked last year. The one bright spot on defense was having Lindholm and Manson together, and Fowler and X, Y, and Z. I mean, I guess at this point you could probably put in Montour, but the key for me is trying to get maybe those two defensemen together, Lindholm and Manson, and then trying to get a faster, quicker thing that is just not whatever Randy Carlyle is trying to do his second time around.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're 11 games into a losing streak. You don't deserve your job. Period. That's the time you get fired, and it's not working. It's just not working.
People get fired for far less in the NHL as far as coaching, especially in the end of a contract year. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me or any other person in the fan base.
Well, I mean, many people think that he should have been fired, myself included, in the playoffs. After the playoffs last year, the way they came out against the Sharks and the way he lost control of his team, he probably earned, his pink slip then. The fact that he gets a start fresh in October, and then they blame the injuries as to why Randy's having a hard time here. And now we get on an 11-game losing streak. Almost said winning. Jesus. Losing streak.
He's pump the brakes, kid.
Who are we missing? Corey Perry and Patrick Eaves. But those two subtractions in the lineup, it doesn't mean that it's okay to go on this kind of run here. There's got to be some sort of answer. And if he's not going to fire him, well, then hell, he better come up with an answer quick, because every Ducks fan that we talk to, everyone is just steaming about this. Like, how is it possible that you could expect us to support this team and believe in the direction when you make zero change? We have,
and then you double up those horrible no changes. I believe in not winning again.
We got to get to that in a minute, but we got to get through this game. Ricard Raquel finds the back of the net. The Ducks put themselves up 2-0 here on a great Russian, man. This was actually a really nice play by Anaheim, breaking into the zone. And Raquel Hellebuck almost caught enough of that.
Just enough. Oh, that's so annoying. As a goalie, when you get that close and it hits it, you're just like, I want to give the shooter credit, but at the same time, I'm like, I could have had that.
I mean, there was no gap control whatsoever against Ricard Raquel on this play. They gave him the walk-in from the blue line to almost the mid-circle. So he had all day to eat a sandwich and shoot the puck into the back of that. Great shot by him. Good to see him get one on the board.
Hold on, I got back. We said eat a sandwich, walk in, and shoot and score.
He had enough time. He had all that time.
God, eat a sandwich? It just sounds Allerish to me. Right,
I mean, no, he would have said.
I'm going to call you out on that one. That was bad.
Corn. He would have said can of corn.
Oh, is that a tuna sandwich or whatever?
Or
whatever the hell
salad. He would have
chicken
said
salad. That's the one.
So Ricard Raquel makes it 2-0. Ducks go in there with some hope, I guess you could say. But this team is the Winnipeg Jets.
Don't they score right at the end of the first?
That's what I'm getting to. They're deadly.
Oh,
it's Blake Wheeler. And Blake Wheeler is a beast of a hockey player. And the Ducks are on the penalty here with just under a minute to go. Blake Wheeler just is able to walk in and just rip the shot. Gibby didn't have a chance on this one whatsoever. And makes it a 2-1 game here at the end of the first period. I can't fault Gibby on this play.
No, I could fault a really hard fault there on Richie, who ends up taking a penalty. It's just like it's always Richie.
It's clockwork for that kid.
Yeah, and it's like, we at that point, yeah, I mean, really hadn't outshot them. They had dominated for long stretches that first period. And the fact that we were up 2-0, and then we take a penalty, and it's Richie, and then they score, and it was just like less than a minute left, or around a minute left, and it's just like it just had the feeling of Pittsburgh all over again. We did good for a little bit, and then the better team showed up.
That's what happens, and then we can get on to the second period here. And that's where you're going to find where the Jets are able to find the back of the net again. And it's a player who's been in a slump. Patrick Laine has not been lighting up the league as of late, but he's able to get a one-timer off here in a hurry on a nice little feed there for Brian Little. And all of a sudden, this game is a 2-2 game. Go figure. Just under 3 minutes into the second period, the Jets are able to tie it.
Yeah, it's especially when they score late in the first, early in the second, and just everything that had kind of worked out, and you're like, maybe we're actually going to be a team that we probably shouldn't, and it just comes crashing back to earth. And leave it to a guy who's struggling super, super hard to score goals to score against us. If it's not their first goal of all time or of the season, is the guy who's hasn't scored in 13 games or something. And it was
honestly, it was a play where the Ducks were caught on another 2-on-1, which has been just the bane of your existence as of late. You get so upset about this, and Manson gets caught back waving his stick around on a 2-on-1, and the Ducks are just unable to solve that sort of issue here, and that's cost them in several games during this losing streak. The defense was very soft again in this game. I feel like that they got away with a lot because this game could have easily gone Winnipeg's way in the second period, and the Ducks were able to hang tight.
I won't drop it too much on just the defensemen. I felt like the team defense was probably the biggest problem, and there wasn't enough support for a lot of the plays that ended up happening, but. Once again, it's I'm baffled that Lindholm and Manson aren't the ones playing together most of the time. And if they're not playing most of the time, then you're going to get a lot of problems, just weird plays and just missed pickups. And especially 2-on-1s, whoever needs to teach them how to do 2-on-1s, I hate far from it for me to tell professionals how to do it. 2-on-1, your job. Take away that pass. At all costs, take away the pass. Don't let the guy walk in all free and just take away the other guy. You can't have a breakaway, but be in the middle, and your job is whatever limb I can get in front, take away 2-on-1.
Yeah, they can't seem to figure that out. That's always been a problem. The Ducks in the second period, though, it's very strange. They were able to outshoot the Jets in the second period, but when it came to scoring chances, the Jets had 9, the Ducks had 4. It's these... If you want to take care of the underlying numbers, like all the stat nerds like to talk about, that's great. You shoot the puck from the perimeter all day, get the shot on net. That's wonderful. If it's not dangerous, what's the point of taking the shot? And that's been Anaheim's major struggle this year. And they just can't seem to find enough chances in the danger areas to cause problems to the opposing team. But they do get ridiculous luck as of late as to the goals they're scoring. Because Andrew Cogliano gets on the board here in the second period.
I'm sorry, who's on the score sheet?
Cogs for dogs. I believe it was a Labrador took the puck from Cogliano and threw it into the net for him.
That makes sense. All dogs go to heaven. They score a goal. All right, yeah, it makes sense. Go.
So now you're with me. Now you got
it. Yeah, I understand.
I mean, Cogliano from a horrid angle. He's all the way down low, and it's just not.
He's a solid.
Not
foot
able
and a half out from the goal line, almost at the boards.
It wasn't a pretty goal. It was not a pretty goal for Andrew Cogliano, but when it's your third goal of the year and you're 46 games in,
and you just gave yourself a 3-2 lead.
It was a tough angle, and Hellebuck just, for whatever reason, man, it found a way under him. It literally trickled under Hellebuck and into the net. So the Ducks were able to get on the board there. Probably one Connor Hellebuck would say, yeah, I should have had that.
100% he wants that one back. That's one of those and Cogliano was still really just trying to find anybody else. He didn't want to throw it at the net, and then I think he just like gave up and throw it at the net. And I feel like Hellebuyck was on his knee really hard, and then he's like, "Oh, this dude don't want to shoot." All right, so he kind of like just leans up just a little bit off his knee, and the shot goes right through the middle of the pad. No reason that should go there if you are 100% leaning on your knee. I think he's like, "Oh, he's not going to shoot," and then he
did one of these when it went in. Hellebuyck looked
at
his pad, picked his head back up, looked down again, picked his head back up.
There was a hole there.
That kid in the net.
There was a hole there. No, it's literally just that half pound of pressure, I guess you want to say, on your knee, where you have the knee there, and he's like, "Oh, he's not going to shoot," and you like let up. He's like, "All right," like almost like he just moves his hips just to the side and just enough that the shot comes underneath, and it's just
it actually went so under his leg that was on the post.
Yeah, that's the one that you have there.
He didn't even move his knee up. It just somehow fell away under his leg.
No, there's no way.
Go back and watch it.
If your knee is that hard, about the only other thing I could think of is that most goalies, when they do that, their skate is not behind the goal post. His was all the way behind the goal post. So I think he had his foot and his knee as center points, and there was a little bit of lift. If his leg is on that post and it's a flat surface, at that point he's got down and down. It's not really shooting under like that. I think because it was behind the post, that's probably how it snuck in, and that's why he was so confused about it.
Either way, it was not a goal that he
should not have got. But hey,
again, if you're like, how the hell
scored, I don't care how the hell it happens.
So Bombay chimes in saying that he loves us, but he has no time today as he just got off the plane, so he has too much to do to hear about a loss.
We barely have time.
But
it's early.
Come on, Bombay. It's an early game.
Yeah, come on. If you're going to be coached someday.
Let's get on to the third period. The Ducks lead this game again. Not after the first period, not only after the first period, but after the second period, they lead this game again. Go to the third period, and I mean, Sherratt already scored a goal for the Ducks, so now it was time for him to score a goal for the Jets. He is able to get the tying goal here on, it's just, I don't know. It was a shot from the point, and it just snuck away, and it deflected funny on Gibby. It bounced down, then bounced back up. I don't think there was any way for John Gibson to get a clean read on this puck because it was all the way from the blue line, and it was spinning, bouncing, and went top corner. There's nothing Gibby could do here.
No. Well, what you would blame a goalie for is if that shot happens, and then he immediately takes his glove and his blocker and puts in the top corners. And then his feet to the bottom. Hey, if you do a starfish and just take up like this and like, hey, try and hit over here. I mean, a goalie's going to do this because that's percentages. If it bounces 80 billion times before it goes top corner on you, it's just that puck was not going to be denied at that point. I mean, it blows. It sucks, but there's nothing he could do. Zero.
Sometimes
things.
You just have to live with an ugly bounce.
Hit me. Yeah, just close your eyes like, please. Not looking good for him. Yeah.
So we get out, go to OT. The Ducks are actually in the offensive zone here, and Rickard Rakell is playing, obviously his role is forward. Getzlaf swings back as he drops the puck to Rakell. That means Getzlaf is on the blue line for a second time in overtime. And I'm not saying that this is his fault, but it's unfortunate that our captain, who is not a defenseman, is left on the blue line here. Rakell makes the shot, gets deflected, goes around. That, of course, is never a good thing when it goes around the horn. It goes back. The fault here, though, Jason, falls on Cam effing Fowler. There's a 2-on-1. Getzlaf spreads out, tries to stop the play. Shot gets on net. Two Winnipeg Jets players are essentially in the crease. Cam Fowler comes back in enough time to try to swipe a rebound, blows by the whole thing like he has somewhere more important to be on the deck. No. Completely ghosts the crease, ignoring the play 100%. And all that does is leave Little open to roof a rebound after Gibby makes a second save. He's down and out. Spread out, post to post, trying to stop
leg
this.
up. Yeah, it was a
dude, I wanted to rip my eyes out. I'm sitting there at the watch party, staring at the TV. I'm like, oh God. Cam Fowler.
Anyone else see Cam Fowler just like come in and then just back out real quick?
Ghosts everybody. Ghosted everyone. Turns around and skates back towards the net after the puck is already in the net. He's like, oh, son of a... Really? Are you serious?
Ah,
How'd
damn.
that get in?
What? That wasn't warm-ups? I thought that's what you do in warm-ups. You swing by, let the other guy score, and you go like, I wish I had been playing.
I get rust. I get the rust. You haven't played. You took a puck to the face and it had to go through your eye.
Blow up your face,
and nose, and like expand your face in order to make the bone fragments fit back together. He had a rough, period of time there where he was injured. But I mean,
do they take away the part of your brain that cares?
I don't get it, dude. I don't know, Jay. I don't know, man. I was so angry on Friday that it was like one of the first times that I can remember. Oh, by the way, everyone, Ducks lost 4-3 in overtime thanks to that Brian Little goal. But with the Pittsburgh game, I literally for the first time, I can't remember how long, I hit the table really, really hard. The third goal went in for Pittsburgh. The Ducks are leading 3-0, and I still felt like they weren't playing great. It's like I have a feeling this isn't going to go well. Yeah. 3-1 Malkin, 3-2 I think it was Gensel. And then all of a sudden, 3-3, I figured to score the third goal, and I was like, damn it! And I hit the table, and both my wife and my daughter were like, whoa, what happened? Whoa. I'm sorry. Like, I finally got a little frustrated here. You have a lead.
I feel a little verklempt.
And just see this way this team plays, I love them. I really, really do.
Hey, I don't need you crying on this podcast.
I don't know what to do with this team. It's common. And the great thing about comedy is it makes everyone laugh and get through a tough time together. So everyone laughs, and we can get through this struggle.
See, the way I feel is that everyone's like, it would be funny if it wasn't so sad.
If it wasn't,
everyone's just like, it's just so sad. It's no longer funny anymore.
We'll find the funny. We got to get to our fan questions, and then we have to really, really, really talk about Bob Murray, because Bob Murray came out and honestly, for a lot of people, it shocked the world, but we'll get to why I don't think it really shocked
the whole world
in general. Yeah, the hockey world of Anaheim. So 17,500, whatever the max capacity is.
I was about to call my friend in Egypt, see if he was offended.
So I think it's all of Eddy. It's Olive and then DDIE, so it's kind of like he mixed Olive and Eddy together. But he sent in a question on Instagram. He said, should fans hold out on going to games until something is done to turn this season around?
What is it, 12,000 or 10,000 or season ticket holders? They already paid for it.
But I mean,
I guess no other people need to buy tickets, I guess. But no, I mean, prices will go down and be a fun evening. At some point, it's got to end. I'm sorry, it will end, but trying to do a picket strike right now, I don't feel, they're not going to change.
I know, but I think like the point of it is, Jay, is
symbolic.
It's not so much. It's not so much that they're losing. It's the fact that the way this team addresses losing is the problem. It's like when you're losing this bad, maybe come out and say something different. Or if you're the team, you come out and say something positive, like, "Hey, we understand. We have an aging core. We have these young kids that are killing it in the AHL. Look, we have to turn a corner where like this weird part of like we're not rebuilding. It's more of a retool. We have a Vezina caliber goaltender, and we have these other players and pieces that are good. Now we have to do some retooling here in this season to figure out how to be competitive again." They say nothing, and they're like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're just gonna keep status quo. Not mix up our defensive pairings like they worked before. And, why not bring in Pontus Aberg to score goals and scratch him 3 games in a row and keep guys in like Ryan Kessler and Andrew Cogliano who haven't done anything all season? That's the problem I have with this team.
That was a lot of things you have problems with.
I know. It all centers around one thing, doing nothing.
Yeah, well, it would also be nice if there's some sort of communication. The Ducks are the worst at fan communication, just communication in general, and even though they say they are, they really aren't. And so it's kind of something where you'd like them to just kind of give you some other bland, or some other real answer versus just a bland blanket statement where, oh yeah, put one foot in for the other. Don't question me if things go bad. I'm really tired of talking about it. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I think fans are definitely frustrated. And at this point, we're missing a lot of pieces. And once again, I hate saying this because it just sounds stupid, but it's the old guard. And the old guard wants to keep what used to work. And that's why we have an old coach. We have old players and an old system that's just not going to work.
It's just not working.
No.
It hasn't worked all season. Another question here from Canadian Girl says, fans now want to get rid of Getzlaf and his captaincy. Do you agree?
Nope.
Wholeheartedly no.
No. I don't know how much more I can say no. Who's gonna be the captain?
Oh wait, no. Josh Mann. Oh wait, no.
Ryan Gibson can't be captain.
Captain, no.
Okay, and even if it was, I really wouldn't put him. He having an awesome season or whatever. That's the dude. There's nothing wrong that Getzlaf's doing as far as points, as far as trying to lead this team. Yeah, I mean, you could say, oh well, he hasn't produced. It just doesn't seem like a guy who's not trying to produce. It just doesn't seem like he's giving a half-ass effort. Things aren't happening. He's getting injured. I mean, he's missed some games, but there's nothing. And when he's out, if he's not there, that team's nothing. There is no offense. And, Gibson, not net. There's two guys you don't get rid of right now. That's Getzlaf and Gibson, top two players on the Ducks. No way you get rid of him.
I don't get it. I don't understand people are saying that at all. But, I mean, fans are just clamoring for answers. So I get the frustration. But to point it at your captain, who's been here his entire career and dumped his heart and soul into this team, I feel like he comes to the rink and wants to battle. It's tough. I mean, he leads the team. He leads the offense, like you said. It's really tough to put that on him right now when he doesn't have the supporting cast. So that's a tough one. I would definitely disagree with that.
Yeah. Sorry, I got really passionate about my captain.
And there's another one for Canadian Girl. She says, how is Getzlaf always back defending when we lose in overtime? Yeah, a little bit of recency bias here, but yeah, that's tough. He's not a defenseman.
He's not. And they like to put him up high because he has not only the vision to make passes or plays happen, but if he wants to, he can unload a shot. The risk you take by putting him back there or making that your focal point is that if it turns the other way, he's your defenseman, and he's not a defenseman.
And there are unfortunate plays too. Those are unfortunate. Yeah. Like, I don't think you can't blame him on that. Bad of
a forward playing defense, but he's been left out to dry on recent plays where it looks like he doesn't know what he's doing because he's not a defenseman. He's not a defenseman.
Look at this too. Sorry, Cam.
Yeah. He's not a defenseman. So to expect defensive, defenseman type play or block or intuition is not going to happen from him. His goal is to avoid defense and find a way around it. He's not thinking about, oh yeah, I should do this on that. He's not breaking it down like a defenseman would.
Yeah. So those are our questions there from Instagram. Let's get over here to Twitter just a second as I bring them up.
Twitter.
Got to go through here. We got a lot of questions tonight, Jay. So,
all right,
bear with us here.
Yeah, but everyone, thank you. Whoever showed up for our watch party, a lot of friends, a lot of family, a lot of longtime listeners, and new listeners too. And it was a lot of fun. It was a good time. It's always a good time, no matter what. It sucks because I don't feel like we have a great winning record, but at the same time, we're all drinking beer, we're all hanging in there, and we're all BS.
It was a therapeutic session tonight, a collective.
Yeah, it's a lot of bitching too in recent times.
One of my favorite, I know Eddie said it's one of his favorite names on Twitter is Skid McMarks. I think that's a great Twitter handle. He has a two-part question here. He said, asking before the start of the third period, but does it look like we are actually using three lines this game versus the usual two? Dropping Kess down seems to give that third line with Rowney, Cog, and Sprong a little depth. And they did produce. It was Sprong and Cogliano that connected on the play that would get Cogs his goal. And then he writes, actually, on second thought, since Kessler is considered a defensive forward, is there any chance he can be converted to a defenseman that can take draws in important situations, but play on the bottom 4 pairs of D. I don't think that that's in Kessler's repertoire. He's not a Dustin Buffalo, Brent Burns. He's just not that type player. That's a tough ask for a guy, especially who's on the back 9 of his career and coming off, I don't know, a career-ending injury, right? I mean, essentially, it's what he had in front of him, and he's battled through it, and he's come back and played. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out for him. But, I mean, I don't think you can convert Kessler to a defenseman.
It's much easier to take a defenseman and make them a forward than it is to take a forward and try and move him back to defense, especially someone that wins face-offs and is also so involved in trying to move forward and be an agitator. You can't really be an agitator like he is if you're on defense, where you see an occasional forward every now and again, and they get to the net, maybe give him a hard time. But at this point in Kessler's career, he's not going to scuffle. He's not going to start pushing people around. He's not going to engage in that fight in front of the net. I mean, maybe way back when you might have been able to teach him that, but it was a dude who used to be able to produce offense, agitate, win faceoffs. Unfortunately, there's been such a quick digression in his skill set that he's just he's a 3rd or 4th line center at this point. But put him on defense isn't going to solve any problems, because he's not going to all of a sudden become the guy who pushes people around or hits them extra hard all of a sudden.
And so we have another question. It's actually from Brett in our speaker chat. He goes by Shock. It says, I'll leave a question here. Keep talking about retooling, and I agree. But how different can this team look next year? Most of the people that are past their prime still have term. So how do we bring up the kids next year when there really isn't that much for open spots? I would say this is not going to be a fast turnaround in Anaheim. You're talking about a 3 to 5 year build here if you're talking about retooling and getting better. Because, there's term. You have Ryan Getzlaf, you have Corey Perry, you have Ryan Kessler that are all locked into big contracts. They're here for the long term, long haul. And then you could even point to contracts like Cam Fowler, which I didn't really like when they gave him a boatload of money a couple of seasons ago. He's got a lot of term left in his contract as well. So, there is going to be some difficult times here in Anaheim. And how do you do this? Well, you could look at buyout options is always one of them. And 2, I mean, you just have to really look at trading players. I don't think Jakob Silfverberg's going to be here after the trade deadline. If the Ducks are smart at all, they trade him. Because, I mean, really, he's going to cost too much, and he's still valuable, so why not fetch what he's worth right now? I mean, we talked about this on the last show, Eddie and I did. You have to trade him. They're at a point where they can't keep the guy. They have a lot of young kids who are really good in the goals that are coming up, and even not in the goals. Look at Maxim Comtois. He's able to do damage here in the NHL in his short stint. So it'll be great to see what the Ducks are able to do with their youngsters. But no, to his point, it's not going to be an amazing year next year. I mean, we're talking 2-3 years down the road here. We can really get a solid look at this roster. So there's going to be some pain here. I mean, we had a lot of success for the last 7-8 years. So now it's time for some pain. Just the way it goes.
Yeah. I mean, we can't see the future, so we can't tell who's leaving, who's retiring, Kessler, and who might be able to move on, like trading to Silfverberg or Ritchie, if you get the opportunity at Cogliano. There's room to move some of those players out if you don't really want to re-sign them, or you want to trade them, try and get some sort of assets. This team has built up their defense and their goaltending for the future. The only problem is that the forwards are the ones that are coming behind. But at this point in the NHL, that's kind of what you want. You want the young, quick, skilled, not intuitive, inventive offensive players to kind of come up, see, what was working down there, give it a shot. It works now in the NHL. Forwards are younger, quicker, better, more skilled. That's where your offense is going to come from. So I'm not as pessimistic as far as how long it might take. It's definitely not going to be next year, but I think maybe there's going to be a lot more people that start dropping off our roster that might let those younger players come in and might make that turnaround a little bit quicker. And if it can be, then great, because we're set up very beautifully on defense, in my opinion. If they can get the matchups right and goaltending solid for the foreseeable future. So it's just getting those offensive players up there, and I feel they're kind of hopefully making the right moves to make that happen.
So Joseph from our Facebook says, "What should I be drinking tonight? I can't make up my mind." So I was thinking
gasoline.
All of it.
Gasoline, and if you have a lighter, that would be helpful.
Burn it down, man. So that was a great question because we were all drinking beers tonight at Lamppost Pizza. But he goes, "Hey, okay, here's my real question. This is funny. You'll like this. Okay. Is this the least transparent management in the league? It's absurdly frustrating." And then he writes, "Edit, LOL. Just as I say this, Jason addresses this on the pod. Okay, different question. Different question. Do we lose for Hughes or play Crapo for Capo?" Yes. Yes. I think
yes. You just answered all three questions and a yes.
Yes. All of it is a yes. Jason answered your question. Yes, drink everything. And yes, sell at the deadline. Don't play Gibson. Crap this team out. And you're so close to the bottom. Why not try to get a top end?
Hughes? You really think we're going to lose for Hughes?
Yeah. Or the Finnish kid. Why not?
I mean, it would only be the second time in our storied 25-year franchise history that we'd actually get a top 2 pick. Yeah. One of them was Bobby Ryan. That close to Sydney.
So close to Sid.
So close. No. They got to restore Pittsburgh. That's a conspiracy theory.
Mario needed
he needed one. So, anyways, I don't know. What was the question?
Do you crap out for Jack Hughes?
No.
No.
They're
so close to the bottom. Why would you?
They're so close to a playoff spot. That's
why do you want to make the playoffs? What does this benefit Anaheim making the playoffs?
I'd be happy.
Why? They're going to lose.
Well, they've been doing that, and I'm not happy. So if they win, I might be happy. I don't know. Other than that, I mean, this is not a team that's going to run the Stanley Cup all the way to the championship. So it's not going to happen, but it might make me happy because I don't think we'll lose hard enough that we'll actually get anything of super value. And I don't know because, Bob Murray is a real big scout guy. If he's like, we could really get a really good guy at 6 or 7, and then maybe we'll just I'm not going to fire Carlyle. I got a reason. I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, we're not winning the Stanley Cup. If we're lucky, we get in the playoffs, and I doubt it's for very long. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to tank all the way down.
Nick Webb on Facebook says, after playing teams like Vegas, the Jets, and Tampa tight over the stretch, do you guys think that it's just a blind squirrel finding a nut, or are there positives to take from these games? I would say it's a blind squirrel finding a nut more often than not with this team because hockey is streaky. Teams want to run. Players get hot. Goaltenders can save you games. John Gibson has done that all year this year and most of the year last year. I would definitely say that the winning streak, the 9 games, you can mostly attribute that to a lot of luck and a lot of great goaltending because they're terrible outside of that. They weren't great to start the year. They were getting lucky thanks to Gibby. So, yeah, I would go with the squirrel finding a nut theory.
Yeah, I'd lean more towards that. I would say at the beginning of the season, it was, we just saw nothing but red flags everywhere, just not in visually watching the game, but all the underlying stats. It was like, all right, thank God we got that guy at the back of the net because this season's a wash to begin with. We should have been at the bottom to start and then bottom to go for a while. And then we got a little 6-game winning streak where we got some, run support, as I like to say. And we were even asked, we're like, oh, we're going to give, Randy Carlyle props because all of a sudden they're winning games and stuff like that. I've watched the games. I'm glad they scored. It was nice. But at the same time, I'm looking at it, it's like, we lucked the hell out of most of those games. We should not have won. And even the more recent games where it's maybe a little bit closer, I also think it's us maybe kind of all of a sudden perking up and trying to play against a good team, but then a good team also knows like, all right, they can beat us, and we'll beat them eventually. They'll fall apart. So it's rough. I don't see anything good even against the teams that we've come close against. It doesn't matter. You lost.
And during the 9-game win streak, I remember we were talking about it on the podcast, and they were like, I remember Eddie asking us, and he's all, are you going to actually ever give Randy any sort of credit? And I was like, hold on.
It's a silent golf
clap.
clap.
Golf
Gotta
clap.
get the golf clap.
That's great. Hey, Randy, remember when you won a Stanley Cup with Timu and Scott Niedermayer and Chris Pronger? Let me give you one of those. Let me give you one of those.
No, that's too loud right there. You gotta do a little softer. Yeah,
the hate for Randy is real.
Yeah, it's not that I don't like the guy. He's personable, but it's just not going to work. And trying to teach him to do what the NHL has changed so rapidly, it's just there's no way for it to work. So it's time to move on, and everyone else seems to know.
We're so close to that question. We have a few more before we get to the 800-pound gorilla in the room. Karen asked, why do you think Aberg is being scratched so much? What did he do or not do? Is he in the doghouse? He's not scoring. He's a streaky player. He's a one-dimensional guy. He's not a defensive forward. He's not like his Jacob Silverberg who can put the puck in that, but also stop the other team from doing so. And he's on just a really, really bad streak of not being able to produce, so that's what happens. I mean, to be scratched for a guy like Brian Gibbons, who hasn't had a goal all year, is kind of laughable. But
you
for 3
can't
games,
put him on the fourth line. What are you going to do? Put Aberg on the fourth line, expect him all of a sudden to produce 8 goals?
No, Getsy's got to play with him, of course. Yeah, you got to.
So he's got to be top, and at this point, I think Sprong's probably a harder, better shot, something that could play there. And now that Raquel's back, I mean, Raquel's been back 2 games. Aberg's been sat 2 games. What are you going to do? Put Aberg? Is it? Oh, sorry. Whole third game. Yeah. So what are you going to do? You can't put him on the fourth line. You're going to break up Kasha, Henrique, and Richie.
You can put him on the fourth line.
I can see that, maybe.
I think it's a fourth line deal. You could definitely do that.
Put him on the fourth line. He's not going to score on the fourth line.
I mean, maybe.
And that fourth line, in my opinion, I love our fourth line. They're not going to score. They're not going to score any goals, but they got energy. Okay, so it's like what I love is the first line going out there getting some chances, and then our fourth line coming in and just hitting people, following it up. The problem is that you get back to the second and third line, and then all of a sudden everything gets like lost, or like their top player comes out, and so you got to trot out Kessler out there, and just like, all right, Mule, hang in here, just don't let him run too hard around you.
All right, so the last question is from our boy and our very much beloved friend, David Rodriguez.
Ooh.
He says, I have no questions, boys, because there are no answers that will satisfy me. Suck as why. I think he meant such as why. Such as why Sprong is not playing on the left side of the power play. Yeah, I agree with that. No answer. Why Kessler in all caps, still in all caps on the power play. No answer. Just take it as it is at this point. I will still watch and cheer for this team regardless. But know that at this point in time, don't get my hopes up too high for a turnaround, since we all know, and GMBM knows, pretty much confirmed Carlyle will be at the helm through the rest of the year. Absolutely. Let's get to the gorilla, because Jeff Hedden says, win or lose, how hot is Randy's seat? And Dave said, cool as the other side of the pillow. And he could not be any closer to the truth. Because let's get to it, Jay. Bob Murray addressed this team and its fans after this 11th straight loss. Bear with everybody.
Yeah, so everybody who's a Ducks fan, Bob Murray is talking directly to you right now.
Yes, and here's what he had to say. While it's not my preference to make comments on the topic during the season, yeah, we know, our recent play has led to many questions. Our fans are frustrated, rightfully so, and deserve a response from me. Okay, so here's his response. He set the table, ladies and gentlemen.
He rolled out the red carpet. He's going to walk out to the podium. He's going to make his announcement. He's
going to deliver you the goods you've been waiting for.
Yes, everything you were hoping, the answers you wanted to hear, here it comes straight from Bob Murray's mouth.
And he ends all the suspense in the first sentence. At this time, I am not considering a coaching change. Jesus. God Almighty, help us all. I am more focused on our players, specifically with who is going to step up in this situation. The way we played tonight was a step in the right direction, but we need much, much more. We have higher expectations for this group, and they should expect more from themselves. So, don't blame the leader. Blame everyone under the leader.
Unbelievable. everybody you gave a contract to, traded for, drafted, all of those people need to step it up. Not you, and not the guy you kind of hired for the second, or you didn't hire the second half, but you hired again to try and coach this team that you put together.
I don't know what to say about this.
It's adorable.
I was very frustrated.
Yeah,
no words.
Once again, yeah, it's like, all right, so this is what I take away from it. Carlyle's staying unless he loses like maybe 4 more games. If he loses 4 more games, there's no way he can keep it or justify to keep him.
Do you want to bet?
If he doesn't fire him in like after 2 game losses,
What do you want to bet?
What if the Ducks lose 4 more games? Is Carlyle still the coach?
They could lose out the rest of the season. He's not being fired.
Let's put it this way: they just lost 11 tonight.
Yeah.
If they do 5 more, they're at 16.
Yeah.
There's no way he has the opportunity to be the coach. I lost 17 in a row and tied the record. And Bob Murray, I think Bob Murray's not going to want his name anywhere near that record. I think he's got 2 to 4 more games. If he loses, it sucks. If he wins one of those games, we're still screwed with him. He's not going anywhere. It's like, hey, we turned it around.
Yeah, 1 win.
Started something new. Corey Perry will be here any day. Look over there, shiny.
That'll be his big trade deadline pickup.
Yeah.
We didn't make any moves because we got a 20-goal scorer coming back from injury.
Yeah, former Hart Trophy winner.
That'll be it. So Bobby, as much as we appreciate you and all that you've done for this franchise, because I mean, damn it, you've done a lot. You've drafted great players. You've made some decent moves, but your contract signings are a bit suspect, and your coaching options are very suspect at this point in time.
That's the biggest thing. The fact that he's holding on so hard to his pickup of Carlyle is the thing that just goes like, what the hell's the matter with you? It's like I could see missed trades, missed signings, and he's a wheeler and dealer, and it's a low risk, high reward type guys. But then you get the coach didn't work, and now coaches the worst season, at least losing streak wise, that we've ever had. And you go on, I'm going to double down on this dude right now. That's my
I'm going to stand my ground.
That's me. That's what I want people to know. Bob Murray stands by his man.
I mean, that's why you never hire people that are your friends. When you're a boss and someone's like, I'm looking for a job, you're always like, oh, let me ask my friends if they know anybody. Yeah. It's never, oh, we're hiring. Let me bring you in so you could ruin me. It's never that. You don't want to do that. Bob did that. Bob's like, oh, hey, Randy. Remember when I fired you and I brought in Brucey? And then people saw you at Honda Center because you would still come to the games because you're local. And I was like, oh, it's my best friend down there.
Oh,
wouldn't that be cool if my best friend had a job again and his job was working for me? That would be great. We could do all the nostalgia, bring you back for the 10-year anniversary, and then all of a sudden
see if it works
up again.
Yeah. 10-year anniversary, 25th anniversary of the Ducks. It's like, oh, we'll get that weird side story that just seems to make the NHL pop during the Stanley Cup Finals. It's like, now it's their 25th year, and they brought in a coach. It's a 10-year anniversary when he won it. Dude, put the right person in the damn job, and it's not Randy.
At this point, buy out whoever you have to buy out. Trade you have to trade to get the money to get Quenneville and beg him and plead him to come here, which he's not going to. This is a dream.
You plant the drugs on the people you don't want next season. Yes. Right as across an A border. It doesn't have to be any border.
You're going to Dean Lombardi it, huh? Hey, if Dean Lombardi was here, he would say, we need to develop a culture of caring.
Yes, culture.
For Team USA. Yeah, a culture of caring. So, on that note, let's get to the watch party. We have addressed everything we possibly can in fun fashion with many jokes and sarcasm.
We tried as hard as we could.
Team. I love them dearly, and I will watch every game. But damn it, Bob, make a change.
Thank you.
Watch party was amazing. Thank you to everybody who's come out, supported us.
Second sellout.
So good. So good. Standing room only in the bar.
Standing room. I even had to tell my in-laws to go stand over there for a while.
Yeah, can you go?
Like I said, you know me, and this is kind of our thing, but I just kind of need you out of the way because you don't have a jersey.
Yeah, you kind of need one of those logo things. Did you wear like a hockey something?
You lost. Mostly my friends and family don't show up to these things.
Yeah, so now that you're here,
about that,
we got
out of chairs.
But that was great, and thank you to Lamppost for always hosting us and always being great about that because that was awesome. They always do that.
West Yorba Linda and Lamppost Pizza for sure. Sorry, a shout out, I guess.
No, you have to because they always give us what we want there.
They do. They kick everyone out. It was playoff football, and they said, "Nope, you guys get the bar area." We boxed it out. No one could come in if they wanted. It
was great, and you know what? It was during playoff football, so God bless everyone who came out who was like a dual sports fan. I know I had several friends show up for that. They were both Ducks fans and Saint fans, and he got to watch one team win and one get the loser point.
Oh, no, he didn't see it. They left after the second. Because the football game ended.
My friend, T. T.
Oh, okay, yeah, T. Oh, the big winner.
Shout out to T.
Big winner.
My buddy from work, he won not only both hats with the puck bottle opener, but he also won the autographed Ryan Kessler jersey, which he told me on Thursday, I'm going to win that damn thing. If I show up to your watch party,
never live it out.
Going to win that.
Now everyone thinks we're suspect.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, now someone else had one. But we had brand new people win, too.
Yeah, I know. Jason Billings and his family showed up. His daughter Jordan was there. They won the tickets. They won the 2 tickets in the lower bowl to the Nashville Predators Ducks game coming up on March 12th. So congrats to them, and thank you guys for showing up. Thank you guys for being so cool, and thank you for the beer, Jason. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you. He did not you, Jason. The other Jason.
I know. No, I know. I wouldn't buy you beer. You buy me beer. He might have bought me beer. I don't know. I drink a lot, so we're good.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're coming on with that.
Okay.
Let's see. You got it. I guess we should address. There's another question on here actually from Twitter. We'll give this one to you, Jay. It's actually from Jordan, who won the tickets. She said, "Do you think at this point having Perry back would change things?
Nope.
Was Perry changed enough on this team to have us give us any sort of hope?"
You're talking about a guy who played a handful of preseason games before he blew out his knee in warm-ups in another preseason game. This is not a guy who...
How do you tear your ACL meniscus in the same move in warm-up? I don't know.
In warm-ups, I mean, it's just like, all you do is you just kind of skate forward and take a shot. I mean, that's about it. But I mean, if you want to try and look at what Teemu Selanne did and how he came back, you're in a little bit. It's not apples to apples. It's a little bit different. Teemu Selanne was a skater with speed and high skill with hands. Perry is a grinder, an attitude guy in front of the net, gets garbage goals, but also has really good hands. So they had that in common. Short of that, Teemu Selanne blowing out his knee, he also had the benefit of a lockout entire season to rehab it, come back, and all of a sudden he was the same Teemu Selanne. Perry was not good Perry anyways leading up to that, and I don't think blowing out your knee, having surgery, and missing 2/3 of a season is going to all of a sudden insert you back into a team that's struggling to find goals, and all of a sudden he's your savior. And he's the guy who's going to start netting you 30 goals in the last 2 months of the season. It's not going to happen.
He's going to go straight to that top line with Ryan Getzlaf, too. Second he comes back in.
Yeah.
Right to the top line.
This whole thing is just nostalgia year. It's just, hey, we had the 25 years. Hey, Getzlaf was good. Well, I wish we could have Perry there. And we're getting different guys. We're getting Randy Carlyle in there. It just, no one wants to change what worked whatever seasons ago. It's a nostalgia year. And it blows because we're stuck with it, and it's not going to get any better. Corey Perry's not going to come in, light up the league, make this team an instant Stanley Cup contender. If they're getting into the playoffs, they're lucky, and it's not going to last very long. And Corey Perry's not going to be a catalyst that all of a sudden ignites the Ducks.
Exactly. The thing about Corey Perry, though, and to be fair, is he's judged largely in part by his contract, which is over $8 million a year. So if he's putting up 40 goals a year, 30 goals a year, no one really says anything. But the fact that he's at that age where he's kind of on the back nine of his career here, right? He's not getting any better. He's only going to digress from here going forward. It's not a big deal if he scores 20 goals to me. It's like, oh, that's cool. He's put in 20 goals. But the problem is,
I'm going to call that pluses, thumbs up.
Yeah, it's not his pay that sucks. I mean, to him, right? You're paying him that much. It doesn't suck. What sucks is that it handcuffs every other aspect of our team to make moves, to put greater players in their prime around a player who could supplement like him in this point in his career. We're handcuffed by the money. Not that Corey doesn't deserve it, but we are literally handcuffed in this roster by having contracts like this that prevent us from bringing in other players to support. That's where the frustration comes out for Corey Perry.
Yeah, and prior to this season, I was trying to look at what the buyout option would be for Corey Perry. So depending on how many years you have left, they double whatever that is, and then it's 2/3 of whatever your contract is. So last year it was 3 years he still had left, and $8 million. They'd have to do about 2/3 of that, which is about $6 million against the cap, but over 6 more years. So every year that comes off the books from here on out is less money the Ducks are going to have in cap space. And at this point, I don't see Corey Perry coming in, and even if you bought him out, and it's $6 million over 2 years. Like when his last year is out, it's if it's $6 million over 2 years, that's a guy who's not going to produce any sort of goals for you. And if you can get a $2 million hit, and somebody else can come in and take that $2 million, that can score more than him, you take it 100%.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah,
but we'll see. This team owes a lot to Corey Perry and Ryan Getzlaf. They were leadership on this team. As much as we trash how their play has been here and there,
I hate trashing them. I really do. It doesn't bring me any joy
as I've gotten on Ryan Kessler. I love Ryan Kessler. I was so stoked when he came to this team. It's super unfortunate where he's at. But let's wrap on a positive note. So T walks away with the hats and the bottle opener. Thank you for your raffle ticket contributions to everyone. Turns out, T was able to walk away with both somehow. And then Jordan was able to get those tickets.
That's Chip's fault from K-Rock, by the way.
Yeah, she picked him. Yeah, Chip from K-Rock. Totally
outside. She picked all the winners, and she picked a winner twice, and that's her fault. Yeah,
totally. You got to blame totally outsides for that one. She was called upon to pick. But, thanks to everyone who's come out and supported us. We're doing another one here in February. It would be February 23rd against the Edmonton Oilers on a Saturday. That should be fun because, hell, I mean, any chance we get to party with you guys is always a great time. And then, again, the following month will be, hopefully, the battle for last place. LA Kings versus the Anaheim Ducks, March 23rd, another Saturday. Will probably be our last watch party of the season, March 23rd, purely because if we go to the playoffs, I mean, I don't know if you want to think about that even right now because it's probably not looking that way.
But we did so well in the playoffs last year. I assume it'll be just as great this year.
So,
but for sure, people, especially Ducks fans, need to show up for that one because sadly, we know a lot of Kings fans,
so
my dad included. So there will be a lot of Kings fans, and so we'll need a lot of support because I don't think that one's going to go in the bar area. We'll kill that one.
Probably
so we might actually go. We might have to go out to the actual lobby.
Well, we got to keep it chill because everyone's got to be friendly. You can chirp.
Everyone's fun as long as you show up. You're not a D-bag. You're good, and we'll all have fun and rib each other. It's all good.
So, again, thank you to everyone who's come out. Also, if you haven't already, go to coolhockey.com. They're great friends of the show. They're the ones who give us the jerseys to give away for the Forever Mighty 3 Stars, which we do every month. All you have to do is follow us on Twitter at that point, and then at 45 minutes before each game, Eddie tweets out on Forever Mighty's Twitter account 3 questions. You got to answer those 3 questions. They're Ducks questions for the game. He tally up points on those, and the winner at the end of the month gets a free jersey, and you get to customize it however you want. If you want a John Gibson jersey, their new 3rd jersey, you want the old school jersey, whatever's available on the website is all for you. And if you haven't done that, you can also just go and buy one right now if you'd like and use our promo code FM20, which gets you 20% off at checkout. So coolhockey.com, code word, or whatever you want to put, promo code FM20, FM20 at the end, and you get 20% off your purchase.
Yeah, and do that, guys, because not only have we seen these jerseys like in person, they're legit. When we've had people online just say, hey, thank you for showing me this way. This is the only place I'm going to go to get jerseys. And when we get jerseys, that's exactly where we're going to go with it. So they're awesome. The fact they give away a jersey, All right, so they're kind of dumb, but they keep giving us jerseys to give away to people.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
keep it going.
Thank you, Cool Hockey. You guys are the best. You guys know where to find us: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We're going to be having a gaming channel. We're going to play some NHL 19 on Xbox Live. So if you do that, I want to throw that in there before we end. But we're going to have a Twitch channel to play some video games on there. We'll have more of that coming to you guys this week. But anyways, thanks for sitting through 11 straight post games with 11.
We're going streaking.
Hopefully, we have Detroit on Tuesday. Eddie and I will be on the show. Jason, that's his night off. We'll come back and talk about that game. Hopefully, it's not number 12. We love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for ruining my show, by the way. That's it. I'm sorry you guys had to sit through that, but this is an obligation, contract obligation, they told me. So my kneecaps are sweating and I really got to go to the bathroom. So I'm going to have to let you guys go. Thank you. Bye.